so exciting to have you all with us for this program, which is going to run for the next 2.5 weeks. And I'd really like to welcome and give thanks to Wally for joining us and doing the Welcome to Country. So for people who are not from Australia, it is part of a protocol that we do to acknowledge country and for an elder to welcome us to country. So I'll now hand over to Wally. Thank you. And we'll just go from there.
Okay, Yuma. Hello. Yeah, so I'm a Ngunawal man, and I've lived here on country all my life. I grew up in a little village place called Jurawa. Even the locals, not many people know where it is, but it's that place that I took out about basic survival skills on country. Showed me, bush foods, bush medicines, how to source water, and other forms of food as well. Something that we've been. So that's then put me in good stead to be in cultural heritage management work, which means that I look after all my culture and country. I do a lot of traditional land management type work as well. So I teach people about how we used to do stuff and have been doing it for thousands of years. And I also do cultural awareness type stuff as well. And that, again, is giving people a better understanding and knowledge of Aboriginal people. Traditional practices, I'm not allowed to talk about other people's country or their culture, so I only talk about Ngunawal culture. My country then, we have, as Ngunawal people, we have different clan groups. We've got 7 different clan groups. My clan group are the Yar people, and we come from that place they now call Yass, which is pretty close to Canberra. I do a lot of things along those lines. So here on country then, Ngunawal country itself is a fairly large area. When you give it context, I suppose, with relating to, say, the Australian Capital Territory, which is the capital of Australia is Canberra. So it's actually sits inside our boundary, our ancestral boundary. So our area covers something like 17,000 square kilometres. And I can say that I've been privileged enough to be able to get out on most of that country. I haven't seen 100% of it. I'd probably be at about 90%, I'd say. There's places that are not really accessible. So maybe one day I'll get in to see that. But, as I said, then we have different clan groups. So for us to live on country and in relative harmony, I suppose you'd call it, we have to abide by what we call our traditional customary law or community law. Now that law is LAW law that I'm talking about. So that tells us then that how to interact with one another and how to behave and all that sort of thing. Which is pretty important when you think that, we've got 7 different clan groups and in the older days, there'd be well over, 1,000 people, getting up to about 2,000 people in each clan group. So we had a lot of people that used to live on country. Unfortunately, since European occupation, that number's fallen a fair bit, especially here on the East Coast. And the impacts weren't as bad, I guess, out in Central Australia and Northern Australia and Western Australia. because those places weren't settled as much as the eastern coast of Australia. We had a lot of impacts that impacted on our numbers, I guess, if you want to put it that way. You know, like we because we'd never been what do you call it, in contact with say the common cold or the flu. We never had any resistance to those sort of things, and that decimated a lot of our population right up and down the east coast of Australia. Just little things like that had these major impacts on all Aboriginal people on the east coast. Then we'll go back to talking about my people then in Ngunawal. We've actually occupied this area for a scientifically proven. They did carbon dating to give us a date of our occupation, and they did that at one of our rock shelter sites called Birragai. That's our word for laughter. Now they come back with a date of 25,000 years. So we know then that scientifically we've been here at least 25,000 years, but knowledge-wise we know we've been here longer. You know, there's all these other different places that they haven't really done any carbon dating or anything like that on as well. So in that time we've learnt to live within the natural environment. So that's why it's quite important to us as Aboriginal people. And people really don't understand when we talk about our connection to country, because that's where we get all our customs and our belief systems from. So if things we do are all relational, then you know, we look after this place because our strongest belief as Aboriginal people is that we come from the land. Now we're put here then in the physical sense to look after and care for the land itself. So we become what you'd probably call traditional custodians. So we're looking after the place and making sure that it's fruitful and be able to provide for everybody, not only us as people, but also for the flora and the fauna and all that sort of thing that's around as well. So that's one of our primary roles and responsibilities as Aboriginal people, is to look after country. So we call country mother because it's Mother Earth to us. So as I was saying then, as Aboriginal people, we got all these different cultural practices that we undertake. But you must put it into perspective in saying that not all people are going to do things one way. So we've got different neighbouring tribal groups as well, and they're going to do things differently as well. Like, as I said, we get all our customs and our belief system from the place that we live in. So if we live here on Ngunawal country, we have, tablelands and we've got mountains. Now, if you compare that with one of our neighbouring tribal groups called the Yuin, they have land as well, but they've also got ocean. So you can see then that cultural practice then is going to be distinctly different. So, incorporating land and sea together compared to incorporating land and mountains. So, with that in mind, then you got to also understand that as Aboriginal people right across the country, we now we've got well over 400 different tribal groups right across the country. Now, as I said, then our culture and our belief systems are going to be quite different wherever you go in Australia. So you could almost say it's like Europe. That you've got various different countries and across the European landscape. So we have different, as Aboriginal people, we have different tribal groups. And like I said, then our cultural practice is going to be quite different as well. So because of the natural environments that we're in, if you compare Ngunawal country to Central Australia with the Oriente people. They live in desert. So again, that's going to give you a different way of carrying out your cultural practice. One of the things that all Aboriginal people abide by, though, is what we call our traditional customary law. That's LORE law that we're talking about. That law then, as I said, our cultural practice is going to be different. Then, of course, that law is going to be practiced differently as well. It's got to be relational to wherever you are in Australia. So one of the themes that runs right through all our law is what's now labelled as a welcome to country. Now, under that law, we must make visitors to our country welcome. But there's different ways of doing that. Like I said, my people, the Yar, my clan group, the Yar, we're going to do things slightly different to the other clan groups as well. But we still have to do that customary welcome to country. So that the way we do it then, my people, my clan group, the Yar, is that we not only offer you, a welcome to country, but we also offer you a protection while you're here as well. Now, that protection we're going to offer up comes in two forms. It's going to be done in a physical sense, and it's going to be done in a spiritual sense. What I mean by that is that we call upon spirits to look after you while you're on country. So we're going to ask our spirit of the land to look after you as you're walking around on country, actually treading foot on the land itself. But then we're also going to ask our past generations, our ancestral spirits, to also look after you. Now, under our belief systems, we know that out on country, there's bad spirit out there as well. Now, that's stuff we don't want on country. It's no good for you and no good for the land that you're on. So we ask our ancestral spirits to remove that bad spirit if there's any here. But to be able to do that, I've got to let those spirits know that I'm here giving you guys a welcome to country and offering up a protection on their behalf to you. So I've got to have them with me to be able to do that. So I've got to make a bit of noise, and then I've got to call for those spirits to come and join me. Now I'm going to use these things that are called clapsticks to make the noise. Okay, here we go. My being a Ngunawal man, and I do a lot of work out on country, I have really strong ties with my country. I can feel that those spirits are now with us. Hopefully you can as well. Oh, yeah, they're strong presence. Sorry about that. It's pretty overwhelming at the moment for me. Yeah, strong presence of those spirits now with us. The spirits then are now going to look after you. The spirit of the land is going to look after you as you walk around on country, looking at our beautiful place to be. As I said then, our ancestral spirits, they're going to be looking at everybody, because everybody's, watching has their own personal aura. Now, that's something you carry with you all the way through your life. And at times you don't feel that good, because there's bad spirit there, and it's latched onto you, and it's creating, sadness or sickness or something like that. And you don't know it's there because you can't see it and you can't touch it. But our ancestral spirits can actually find that bad spirit. So what they're going to do is look at you and get rid of that bad spirit. Toss it away. Get rid of it. We don't want it here on country. The spirits then ask that you do two things while you're on country. First one, really important one to us, respect this place that you're in. Got to look after it and care for it, as we have done for thousands of years. Second thing the spirits want you to do is also to respect and be kind and courteous to other people that you meet while you're on country. So if you do these two things for us, the spirits will then harmonise with your stay on Ngunawal country. So may the spirits be with you today, tomorrow, and for always. I'd like to close off now with some words in language. Dalawa nunna, dalawa nunawal. Yango nalawiri, danamayan, nalaganawali, yumulunde. This land is Ngunawal land. We've come together today to talk. Welcome. That's me. John Yamaba, thank you.
Thank you, Wally. That was really powerful. I could actually feel that energy right through the whole of the house. It was really amazing, and thank you so much for just really starting us in such a good way. Really, yeah, thank you so much. I don't know if you want to hang around, or how do you feel, for a little while, or
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much. I might hand over now to Fred or Get to, and all of these amazing comments are coming through the chat, by the way, Wally. So I think everybody could just feel you gathering the spirits and bringing that energy together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, did you want to?
Mm-hmm. Hello, welcome to all from my side. Thank you, Wally, for sharing with us this circle of the land and letting us be part of it for the duration of the course and beyond, of course. Now, you see that you are invited now to join